Hello, hello. I don't think anybody's here yet, but I'm gonna say hi just in case. I'm gonna grab some ink pads while I wait for people to join.
It really depends on where you're talking. Into the microphone, then it's a volume, but if you're not,
For now. I'm just gonna keep it at those two minimal colors for now until I get a better idea of my color palette. Okay, well, those in black, of course, but we'll set those aside for now. And I will trim my paper down. Thinking I'm gonna do another 9 by 12. I'm really liking that size. It's like a little bit bigger than 8.5 by 11, but not as like big and also as square as a 12 by 12. I'm not really a huge fan of symmetrical things, so like it makes sense to me that I prefer non-square layouts. Hello, thanks for joining. 9 by 12 is what I was doing. I am just trimming my page down to a 9 by 12. That's the size I'm gonna go with, I think. I could always change my mind. I've been known to do that. And then I guess while I am picking out what I'm gonna do, I will move that so it doesn't get in the way. We're gonna be doing the highly requested topic of mixing Felicity Jane supplies with other items from your stash. So Felicity Jane is just a brand if you're not familiar with it, but they do have a very distinct look to their products. And they're actually some of my favorites. They're beautiful products, but they do have a distinct look. And if you're not, I don't know, if you're not familiar with how to mix them together, this should help. I think a lot of it has to do with overthinking. Hello. Oh, the same cutter, the Cricut cutter. I love that thing. It like never gets dull. I had a Fiskars trimmer before, but it was one of the wire trimmers where the wire guides the cutter, the trimmer thing, the blade. That's what I'm trying to say. But the wire kept getting crooked, and I couldn't handle it. It was annoying. Popular. I'm glad it's popular. It's popular for good reason. It's a really good trimmer. Okay, let's get started. I actually, for once, who am I? I prepared for the stream ahead of time. I feel super accomplished doing so. So we have Felicity Jane over here, and then other over here. Actually, this is Felicity Jane. I don't know why that's over there. So this is my other pile. And what I did was I'm still sticking to only using my scraps right now. I mentioned last stream that I am using exclusively scraps until I can get my scrap bin down significantly, because it's out of control right now and I don't need to create more by cutting into another 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So I have what feels like a ton of Felicity Jane products. I was on the design team for 2 or 3 years, So I would say a good third of my paper and my embellishments are all Felicity Jane. Um, and when I pulled these out, I didn't pull them out trying to match things because I really wanted it to be as like almost blind as possible so that you could see my process of how I mix them together. So I just went into my scraps. I grabbed all of the Felicity Jane scraps that I saw within the first, like, I don't know, I spent like 3 minutes doing that. And then I just grabbed some random scraps that were not Felicity Jane. So as you can see, this is all, that's all just from my scrap bin, and it's all Felicity Jane. Luckily, I can spot a Felicity Jane product from like 10 miles away, so even the ones that don't have branding strips on them anymore are easily identifiable. What else do I have here? I grabbed a couple Felicity Jane stamp sets. Again, just blindly grabbed them, didn't plan for which ones I was going to use or anything like that. And then I have 3 random non-Felicity Jane stamp sets on my desk, along with my stamps, which I use on pretty much every layout, and then I think that's it. Lastly, I pulled out a ton of Felicity Jane die cuts and other random like ephemera type pieces. Some of those iris cases have others mixed in, but I know for sure that there are Felicity Jane in them, so I'll have to pick through. And then the remainder of them are non-Felicity Jane, so we'll use those. And then I have these as well that are not Felicity Jane. Yes, all of the streams end up on YouTube. It does take me a while to get them up on YouTube, but for, I want to say, like 3 days, you can rewatch the stream on Twitch. So if you want to watch it sooner than when I get it up onto YouTube, then Twitch would probably be the place to go. I'm going to roll my Rascog card over for a minute. It has a lot of, whoa, just hit my desk. It has a lot of non-die cut Felicity Jane items, so like sticker sheets or chipboard or things like these tags, shedding, things like these tags. So I have quite the variety to choose from, and we'll just see where we end up. Hi everyone, hello, hi. I'm so glad you all are joining in. So just a quick recap, we're doing Felicity Jane mixed with non-Felicity Jane. I trimmed my paper down to, what size did I do? 9 by 12. And I'm just trying to make a little bit of space here. I printed out 2 photos. I don't know which one I'm going to go with. I'm thinking this one because I want to trim it down and do like a square-ish photo. But we have an extra just in case. Hi, Dre. Hi, Mandy. And then I still have on my desk the die cuts that I cut out last stream. So I don't know, maybe we'll work those into it, or we'll see. Let's start with paper because that makes the most sense to start with. I need to finalize my photo options so that I know what paper color palette I'm gonna go with. And I'm thinking I'll do this one, and then if we have time, I'll do another layout with this one. So if you're just tuning in, I am still only using my scraps. So these are all the Felicity Jane scraps that I just grabbed at a glance. It's definitely not all of them, but a lot of collections are represented here as far back as like Emmeline, is that what it was? I believe so. And like Felicity. So we have lots to choose from. I'm thinking I want to do yellow of some sort because yellow complements this like deep grayish, bluish green color. Another color that I don't know what the name of it is, but I like it. I kind of want to do a new color palette, not my typical like pink and yellow and blue, because I feel like I'm running that color palette into the ground. What are you guys working on while you're watching? Or are you not working on anything, you're just watching? You know the drill. Let me know what you're up to. I am just gonna start digging through this and pulling colors out that I feel match nicely with my photo. And I'm gonna start with my Felicity Jane papers, and then I'll go into my my other stash over here and grab some papers that complement the Felicity Jane papers. And you could easily do it opposite. I just have a larger stack over here, so more options. Hey, sometimes just watching is more fun than crafting and watching, because you can just relax your mind a little. You guys are all writing. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read. I usually am able to read and look at the same time, but because I'm doing papers, I can't. Watching in bed, fussy cutting, taking a break from packing. You guys are busy. Oh, Amber, hi. I was just reading comments. I wasn't even reading who these comments were coming from. How are you? You do know this photo, Drea, because you took that photo. Okay, back to what I was doing. I have some solids, but a lot of these are just patterns. Too bold. That's why that's still in my scraps. That one's pretty. A bit brighter than my normal go-to, so. Oh, I love this paper so much. And this one that I can already see down here. I have used this floral paper so much. Okay, I think I want to base all of it off that paper. I want to use that paper. This was like a kit from like 2015 or 2016, I think. So I have a lot of scraps in here. I'm kind of going for something unique, like a unique combination that, oh, that's pretty. Trying to keep a bit of an organized pile going on. That has nice peachy tones in it. I was realizing when I was pulling these out of my bin that, like, I know Felicity Jane products so well that I can pick out the difference between a Felicity Jane wood grain pattern and a regular wood grain, or like a non-Felicity Jane wood grain pattern. So if any of my jobs ever fall through, I plan on putting that skill to use. These I found in my scraps, and I apparently went to make some dividers or something at some point and never used them, so they have holes in them, but I can easily trim that off. I was thinking this would go well with those. And I need another color, because that green is really throwing me off. I could use that wood grain. Oh yeah, see? Emmeline, this one is too. This sweater pattern. I was obsessed with this sweater pattern for so long. Oh, we could go with a softer yellow. I don't often use a soft yellow. I use like a bright mustard normally. We'll keep that one out. Oh, how pretty is that? It's vellum. August 31st. That's right around the corner. Oh, that's pretty though. Okay, we'll keep that one out too. Oh, I forgot about this paper. I wish I had like a whole sheet of this to use. I love this paper. Okay, we're gonna keep that one out also. And I loved this one too. I mean, I know I probably have full sheets of these, but like I said, I am being very disciplined and only using items from the scrap bin. Oh, I love that paper. I have a lot of favorites, as you can see. And this one. How beautiful. Now we're getting into smaller scraps. I'm gonna pull this one out for this side. Those are like olive, like an olive mixed with a gray. Okay. Those are what I'm keeping out for Felicity Jane papers. Now let's go into, oh, these ones I changed my mind on. Now let's go into the non-Felicity Jane papers and pull some out that complement these. And then, like I did in the last stream, I'll have like a stack of paper and I'll kind of fan them out and see which ones are both calling to me, like to use, but then also look nice together. So I'm just gonna lay these out a tiny bit where I can see them so I know the general color palette that I'm aiming to go with. Oh, that's a nice gray. It's a very warm gray, so it almost looks taupe, but it's gray. That one's not double-sided. That one's cute for a layering piece. These are branding strips. Not, this one is not. This color matches the branding strip from this paper perfectly, so I might use those as layering pieces. I'm not sure yet. That's not a bad option. Stick this under here. Ooh, that's a good one. I like the navy, but this is like a really bright navy. It's like an indigo navy, so it's a bit bright. So I'm gonna decide against that one. This is a really deep, like, gray mixed with navy, so I think that one might look nice. We have a lot of pinks. I'm gonna leave that one out. This is a Maggie Holmes. What collection is this from? I don't remember what collection it's from, but it's a wood grain pattern. But if you look really closely, and you won't be able to see it on camera, I don't think, but you can see some discoloration on camera right here. Those are all extremely light flowers. Like extremely light. Unless you were staring at the paper, you probably wouldn't even notice that they were there. But I like it. I like the subtle detail. Plus, it brings a dark element to our colors over here. Kind of like that one. See, this is more of the yellow I usually use rather than this color. So this one's a bit more pale. I'm gonna try to go pale for these, or for this. I love me a good noteworthy paper. Out. This is just more noteworthy. Some vellum, which is always good. Yes, open book. That's what it's from. Thank you, Mandy. I just had like a mini minor, not panic attack, but like, because I thought I called you by the wrong name. I just glance over at the thing right here. So if I ever call somebody by the wrong name, it's just because I'm not seeing the lines properly. I promise I know who you guys are. I really love this paper. I'm going to leave that one out. And then this is always a good option because I brought in that color. Okay, let's... When I fan them out, what I try to do is mix like the Felicity Jane in with the non-Felicity Jane because it helps me get a better idea of how they're going to flow when they're on the layout. This. And as tedious as this part of the process is, like laying them all out so you can see them all, it really helps. Especially if, like me, you're a visual person, you'll have a much better idea of how your colors and patterns will work together. Okay, so we have our fan here, and then I'm just gonna kind of see which ones my eye immediately goes to, and it's immediately staying in this area. I think I am going to end up using this color, but this one is more of a blue. So I'm going to take this one out because I don't feel like it matches well. Let's see. I for sure want to use these three. So then we'll build our palette, our paper color pattern palette around these three. Yes, Drea, that's what it reminds me of also. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in the yellow. Now I'm not so sure about that. We'll see, we'll come back to it. I'm gonna bring in those plus signs. These two are the same color, so I'm kind of counting them as one. I mean, not that you have to have a minimum or a maximum number. That one was too dark. Now I'm leaning toward the blue over the green. No, the green still looks better. We're going with the green. It's not really green, it's a... Wait, I know this. It is a teal. Nope, that's not teal. What? Why do I struggle so much with the blues and greens? That pattern's a little busy for what we have going on here. I'm not loving this wood grain, so I'm going to leave that one out. I don't really feel like it needs this wood grain. I feel like it doesn't need wood grain at all, which is surprising for me because I'm one of those people that thinks wood grain is like, it's practically using white cardstock. It belongs everywhere. And then, I could do without this one as well. And I'm definitely going to use the vellum because why not? So let's recap how many we have from each, just since this is about mixing from like either your stash or from another brand with Felicity Jane. So these are from my stash from other brands: Gossamer Blue, Crepe Paper, I believe. No, Heidi Swap maybe. I can never remember with that paper. This one was from a paper pad that I don't remember who made it. Ellie Studio and Gossamer Blue. And then all of these are from Felicity Jane. I'm feeling happy with our color palette. It's different than what I normally do, which is what I've been trying to do more of recently. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Mel. If you guys have any questions, I'm kind of just rambling on and doing like a stream of consciousness of what I'm thinking in my head while I do these things, because hopefully it'll help at least one person to hear my thought process. Oh, I forgot about this guy. I'm not going to use him. Now I have to decide. I'm thinking I'm just going to cut the photo to the middle of this thick wood piece back here. This is a lot of empty space that I know I'll end up embellishing over anyway, so I'd rather see patterned paper over there than more of this photo. Oh, thanks, Dre. Too sweet to me. Make me feel like $1,000,000. I forgot where I was trimming already. Better. It's not quite square, which I like. Yes, honestly, it's one of like my hidden talents is like remembering brands, and I think it's because I have a photographic memory. So I have a terrible memory when it comes to things like pretty much anything that you can't remember visually. So like somebody's name, oh my gosh. That's why I have my cheat sheet, because I'm terrible at names. But when it comes to visual remembrance, I can do that like all day long. I want to back my photo with a light color because the photo is mostly dark, so it'll make it pop. So this will be a layering piece because I don't want to matte my photo with it. At least not for the first layer. And then this is where once you get to your lighter colored layers, a lot of them have white and then a pattern on. And on the white, and you have to kind of play with it to see if you can get it to work. Where if you do a thin border around your photo, you'll actually be able to see the pattern, because sometimes it just looks like you're using white cardstock, which isn't necessarily a problem, but I think I'm gonna go with that one mainly because it fits the photo perfectly. It seems like the natural option. Why, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Oh, but the yellow looks good. I have a little bit of yellow in my shirt that I'm wearing behind this thing I'm drinking out of. And up close, like in person, it really pops. Maybe we're gonna go with this one instead. For me, this color is too similar to the green in the wood of the fence behind me, so this wouldn't be my natural choice for the first layer behind my photo. Ooh, fun. This is kind of becoming like one of my layering videos also. Layers are one of my favorite things. I could talk about them all week. Okay, I have made my decision, finally. Actually, I was thinking about it the other day because I was crafting outside of our stream, which for me doesn't happen very often just because of how tired I usually am. But I was crafting and I was thinking to myself, like, wow, I always joke about how I'm a slow crafter, but like I really am a slow crafter. But I kind of like it. It makes the process really like therapeutic. So yeah, it doesn't bother me if it takes me like 10 minutes to figure out where to put something or which paper to use. And then I like my first layer to be pretty thin just so that we don't start out right off the bat with like a ton of bulk behind our photo, especially if you want to do one where you're going to be putting a lot of layers behind it. Yellow with an E is actually my favorite color. Thank you. But only with an E. Once you put a W, it's no longer my favorite color. The other thing that I don't worry about is 95% of the time if I use a paper trimmer to cut the other two sides of my layer, they're never even. Like the amount poking out is never even. And I don't worry about it because honestly, by the time I get them to match, sometimes there's like no layer left because I have to keep trimming and trimming and trimming. But also the layers I do are kind of wonky and like ripped and everything, so it blends right in. You can't even tell. Okay, the photo is matted? Matte? That's one thing I never really know how to handle that word. Is it matted? Like I matted my photo? I think so. I question the English language more in these streams than ever. I'm just going for all sorts of different things. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that that is right. I think we talked about this last time about words that just don't sound correct, even though normally you know what they are. Sure, why not? We're just gonna try some new things here. I think I mentioned previously at some point in one of these streams that last year I stuck really closely to my formula, is what I call it, because I was doing a lot of creating for other people. And so a formula is an easy thing to have when you get new product that maybe you're not super inspired by and you have to create something with it. So it's kind of like a plug and play situation. So this year, one of my goals, I have many goals for my creative side this year, but one of them is to kind of jump out of those recipes and try new styles, new layout compositions. And so this first paper that I'm putting down is Felicity Jane. It's from the Mila collection. And I mentioned they're like an olive green mixed with a gray, so they're kind of like a dusty olive green. And they're super pretty. And they're messy circles. They look like they were painted. Me too. The color palette of this collection was just all good things. And the backside of this paper is actually one of my favorites from that collection as well. All right, I'll keep this one in case we decide we want to use it elsewhere because the back goes with our color pattern as well. Then I want to do some like some rippage. I think, this one's not bad on that. Yes. I honestly probably didn't even need that, but it was bothering me that it was like, and I would never use, I don't know. The way it was, I would never use it, so I'm just getting rid of this piece, basically. Sometimes with my scraps, they end up being funky shapes like that, so I'll intentionally use them as like a layering piece or something so that the part that's all funky shaped will be hidden and I don't have to worry about how to use it. Put this, and I'm totally guessing, does not have to be perfect. set that down crooked at the very last minute, but that's fine. Good news, if you guys did not see my Instagram, my IGTV video, if you are a subscriber, we now have a subscriber exclusive chat. So it's not active during streams because, as I mentioned previously, the streams will always be free, all of it. But to carry on conversations after the stream is over, if you are a subscriber, you can pop into the subscriber exclusive chat and get to know your crafty pals a little better. Or finish a conversation that you started before the stream ended. I'm thinking I really like the way that this goes together, but I'm trying to decide if I want to leave this straight or ripped, and I'm thinking ripped, so let's do that. I like it. I'm not a fan of how far out that goes, but again, that's like overthinking. And I'm trying to get over that and not do that as much, so. This paper was designed by In a Creative Bubble, and since everything she touches is basically magic, this paper, I don't know if you can see, there you go, now you can see the detail, is also magic. I wish that you guys could still get your hands on this paper. Also, if you guys stayed until the end last stream on Tuesday, I shared a sneak at the shirts that are coming tomorrow. And so there you go. That was the announcement. Those shirts, the Crafty Lady shirts, are coming tomorrow. So keep an eye on Instagram if you want more deets on that. I'm so excited. I might want to use a piece of this. No, I don't. I need to go back to my photo before I get too many layers going on over here and don't know what I'm doing anymore. One's cute. Oh, that's not my photo. That one's cute also. Maybe. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one that's like practically peeing my pants with excitement. I honestly, it's taken me all of my willpower that I have in my body to wait this long. And the only reason I did is because it wasn't actually possible to launch them prior to. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna put that there on the bottom of my photo. I am not a patient person at all. Pretty close, not bad. Prices, I don't actually know them off the top of my head because there's a few different styles of shirt and a few different colors of each style. So I want to say that they range, now don't quote me on this, but I want to say that they range from 25-ish. I want to say one of them is like $23.99, but I'm going to say 25 to be on the safe side. And then the most expensive one is closer to 40, which probably gives you a little hint as well. But that's all I'm saying, you guys. I'm the worst at keeping secrets. I want you to see them now, right this minute. And these ones that I'm releasing are, I'm putting this diagonal stripe pattern from Felicity Jane behind all of the layers. And this gray piece right here was not Felicity Jane. That was from the paper pad that I can't remember the name of. Possibly Amber. You're very close to what it is. Oh, I remember what I was saying now. The ones that I'm releasing are limited edition. So what I'm doing is I'm releasing. You guys are funny. I'm releasing a certain number of them to test and see the demand, basically, before I go all in on this. To see if it's financially responsible decision for my business and all of that. So basically just gauging the interest. So the designs, or I should say the styles of the items being launched tomorrow are limited edition. And if they do end up becoming a full-time product, I can't guarantee that they'll be in the same style or the same color. So just to throw that out there, because I'm going to even have to order one or two of them for myself so that I have them in case I don't bring them back. I ordered one as like my sample to make sure that it was good quality and the print was nice and everything and not like crappy quality. And I love it so much. I want like 25 of them, one for every day of the month that I get dressed. That's a lie. I only get dressed like probably 15 days out of the month. Oh man. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. I just sliced this way too close, but that's fine. We'll cover it up with another layer and you won't be able to tell, but that's why I should always use my scissors when I'm doing my layers, and I rarely follow my own rule. But I'm going to trim this so it looks a little crooked, even though it's not. And I'd rather it look not crooked to my eyes than to be actually straight, if that makes sense. Oh, one last thing. I promise this is the last thing I'll say about it, but I feel like you guys deserve to know all the deets. They're only available for 10 days. So after the 10 days, they are gone, and that's when I have to decide if I will be bringing them back or not, and if I will be bringing back the same styles and colors. I like this color behind there, and I'm kind of wondering, no, it takes up that whole space. I was gonna put this whole sheet right there, but then it covers up all this pretty yellow that so I think I will do kind of like that, but I'm gonna do just less so that the yellow can still show through from the background. And then I'll trim this side to match that side. I think that's gonna, and I'm gonna tear the bottom. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm actually going to keep it just the size of a normal layer. Only because, while the paper is cute and I like the pop of color, I don't really feel like I want that big of a piece yet because I still want to use a lot of these for layers. And I want to add more layers over here as well. So actually, let's add a few more over here before I finish the layers on the photo. So I have a better idea what it's going to be overlapping. I really want to fit this one in, but I feel like it's kind of competing with the dots. This one might have to go as much as I love it. We'll see. There it is. I think I want to do, not of this, but I think I want to do a single, like, super thin strip of something on this side. Because, like, why not? Then if I did a strip, I could do the photo more toward the center of, that's not the center at all, more toward the center of the page. Ooh, now we're getting really crazy, guys. Like, you want to talk about going out of my comfort zone over here. I can't do the middle of a layout ever. It's never happened. This is going to be a first. We're going to try it. Oh, tell her we said hello. Or at least that I said hello. I can't speak for everyone else. Do I want that one there? I like that it pulls this pinkish color over here. So I think that's going to be a yes. But I'm going to do it torn on both sides and do it down the center of this one. So when you're doing torn layers, remember, that did not work out very well, but that's fine. If you tear toward yourself with the piece you want to use, you'll have a clean edge. If you tear away from yourself with the piece you want to use, you'll have this thick white edge. So it just depends on the look you're going for, whether or not you want that white edge. Better. Yay, I figured we all said hello. I tried to post an Instagram story this morning, and it wouldn't let me post more than one. Like, I couldn't record more than one at a time. So I had to do like a 15-second recording and then post it, and then record another one and then post it. And that irritated me because we went from being able to do 10 to being able to do 4 to now being only able to do 1 again. I think that it's just like a temporary glitch while they update things, but it was still annoying. So then I was like, okay, I'll just do a quick Instagram live to get all the information out there, and then we'll be good to go. And then, of course, it couldn't post my Instagram live for some reason. So I didn't even get to do that. I gave up after that. I don't have enough drive to keep trying to figure it out. So I just posted in my story, like, with text. But it's not as exciting to see, like, a big blob of text as opposed to seeing someone, like, talking. At least I don't think it is. It's feeling very square. Ugh. That's okay. Gotta stick with it when it looks bad, because it'll end up looking good in the end. Usually, not always. Okay, I think I'm going back to the side, but I'm still gonna do the strip over here. And I'm just gonna have some white space, because I love a good white space on my layout. Ooh, I like the way you think. You know, I love a good floral. I was thinking about bringing those white die cut floral pieces in, but I feel like this layout has a bit more of a, what's the term I'm looking for? It has like a bold, strong feeling rather than like a more delicate feeling, which I know flowers aren't always delicate, but the ones that I die cut are. So I think for my floral element, because of course I'm always going to have a floral element, I am going to look through my Felicity Jane florals. All right. And did I learn my lesson? I did not. I don't feel like using my scissors, so back in the paper trimmer it goes. Still uneven, but not as bad as last time. I'll take it. I really love this paper. I want to fit this in somewhere. I just haven't decided where yet. So let me decide on this one too. Okay, too many options. Let's decide what I want to put on this side. And since I used all of my 12 by 12 sheets, I think this was the only 12 by 12 that I had in here. Oh no, it was this one. Idea. I got an idea. Go back through my pile over here. I was hoping I had a solid color that would be a 12-inch. And again, I will not cut into a new 12-inch paper. This double-sided tape, I can only use this one brand, and of course it's not like a known brand, it's just from this little small local craft store. But like the scrapbook.com tape, it's good quality, but the back is hard to get off of it. And so when I use that type of tape, I'm with you. It bothers me a lot. I add a lot of adhesive, like a ton. So my options are really glue stick, which I'm on a break from glue sticks, not for any reason. I just got bored of them, so I'm just taking a break. Tape roller or tape runner, but I use way too much adhesive to use this on everything, so I would be going through these plastic refills like constantly, and so I figured I'd try to cut down on the plastic usage. So then I was left with this because using liquid glue on everything really warps some papers. So this is the other option. Okay, I'm looking. Pull this back over. So we can try to. Oh, I love this color palette. We may have found one, you guys. Oh, maybe not. The navy does not match, and this color is more blue. It might work. It might work. Let's see what else we have going on in here. These are all small-ish sheets. What is this one? What's on the back of this one? I really want a solid color. Okay, I'll put these back over. No. That's cute. I feel like I skipped right over that when I was going through these. Oh yeah, all the pink 12 by or all the pink solid sheets that I was thinking of are not 12 by 12. Ooh, there is a pack of I think 3 rolls or something, like 3 different width rolls on Amazon for I think $10, and they're thick rolls too. That's the second best to this that I've ever found. Pink. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Ooh. Oh, and that matches the yellow perfectly. Okay, I think we have our winner. Yeah, that's how I was too. I was noticing that I was going through like 1.5 million tape runners. I did find a place online that sells the refills for these Tombow permanent adhesive tape runners for a really good price. If you guys want me to link to that in the description when I put this video on, or this stream on YouTube, I will. And this is my favorite tape runner, so it kind of, words are hard today. What I found was a pack of 3 refills for, I want to say, like $4. Which, if you know, like if you go to Joann or anything like that, a pack of 3 is like $12, and that's a bit ridiculous for me. But Joann does match prices, so if you don't feel like waiting to order them online, you can always take that website that I found and then go in there and they will price match it for you. I think I like the yellow. What is, I've never even heard of that. Kokuyo? Kokuyo? I'm gonna look it up really quick. Kokuyo. I like that it's like we're hanging out and you guys don't get all irritated with me when I take a pause to look at things on my phone. It's loading. There it is. This one? Is that the one? It's blue and it says dot liner. Oh. Huh. Oh, does it have like a, it looks like it has like a guide on it. Maybe I'm looking at a different one. Is it, obviously dot runner, but I'm just going to confirm because who knows these days. It's dots, right? And not like a straight strip. It was really hard for me to find. Oh, okay. It was really hard for me to find a tape runner that I loved, and for the longest time I was using this Elmer's tape runner, and it has that same, like, a ton of little dots super close together. And like the other one, you can you have to pull it up if you mess up. That's what I'm trying to say. And I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I actually didn't. Sorry, I was trying to put that back where I got it. I actually didn't like the fact that you could pull it up because in my mind it meant that the adhesive wasn't as strong, which I'm sure isn't true, but like that was my thought process when I was using that one. And I don't know. I'm just weird like that. Once I get something in my head, then it's all I think about. And I'm like, nope, it's just not going to work very well. So then I had to change tape runners and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I see what you're saying. So not like the elements that you put on the page like come off really easily. If you put the tape runner on something like on this and then you decided you didn't want it there, you could rub it off. I think that's what you're saying. Yes, okay, that makes total sense. And that's how this Tombow one is as well. So maybe I'll give that one a try. Is it a permanent adhesive or is it a like removable or repositionable or temporary? They're called a ton of different things. Nice. Okay, so that sounds really similar to this Tombow one, but I'm always open to try new crafty supplies, so maybe I'll give it a go next time I run out of that one and see how I like it. I really love this, it's like a glue remover block. So if you get like your adhesive somewhere or even on your table, you just like use it like a regular eraser and it removes it. And that's what I use to remove this stuff when it gets stuck to something. You can use your fingers sometimes too on it, but I don't know. I make a ton of mistakes too. I think the reason I like that it's permanent is because in my mind, if I stick it down and it's like crooked or something and I know that it's permanent, I can't stress about it because like, well, there's nothing I can do about it unless I want to rip up my layout. But if it's repositionable, I can peel it up and like keep going for hours trying to get it exactly perfect. I think that that's my thought process. You know, I could be wrong. Sometimes my brain is hard to decipher what it likes and what it doesn't like or why it likes certain things. I don't know what I want to do with this, but I want it somewhere. Thinking that, and then that could be cute with maybe a third that's... Oh, that could be cute. I mean, we kind of got a lot of styles going on right now. Yes, agreed. Completely agree. But yes, I am going to try out that tape runner at some point, and I will let you know what I think. I don't know. Maybe I should just leave it at that. Ooh, so many ideas, you guys. They're just popping into my head. I'm not even done and I'm already starting to embellish. I'm gonna use this. This is from the Sunny Days collection. It's one of those little rub-on tape runner things. And this is the one with the words on it. And I'm gonna run it along the edge of this. Obviously it's like gonna be wavy because I can't go in a straight line, but I'm okay with that. I like to rub my finger against it once it's down so that it doesn't peel and it fully adheres to the page. Okay, now it has a more finished look. So I'm happier with not adding anything else over there. Although if I was really going crazy, I could do a second line with the dotted lines. We'll think about that. We'll leave it till the end. Let's figure out what we're doing here before add something else to it. Okay, now I think I'm going to start bringing in some embellishments because I think it's at the point where I can do some embellishment layering. So I mentioned when we first started, but I know not all of you were here at that time, I pulled out some very random Felicity Jane stamp sets. I literally just walked up to my cart and like grabbed a handful of them. So I have these, and then I also did the same, these were already on my desk actually, some non-Felicity Jane stamp sets. And we're gonna try to use at least one Felicity Jane and one non-Felicity Jane stamp set. Because this is about mixing supplies. Which I think we've been doing a pretty good, I hope I'm like, I know a lot of you wanted this topic, so if this is not what you had in mind, make sure you let me know because it will not hurt my feelings at all. I love hearing your guys' feedback. I wish this was in hot pink. I don't know why these are in a baggie. I think I took them somewhere at some point or they were on my desk and I didn't feel like organizing them, so I threw them in here. But they're just random Felicity Jane die cuts. And then this is what Henley has some cute pieces. I never use frames, but they're always on my list to use, so maybe we'll use that. I say as like the second frame is not in here, so clearly at some point, or the third one. Maybe I already had the idea to start using frames. Aren't these cool? So these are, you guys know rub-ons, right? So they're on the little sheet and you use the little like popsicle stick to rub it onto your project. These are the same material as those things, but they're in a tape runner. So you run them against your project and then you can just leave them, but I always just press them down into the paper once because it acts as like the popsicle stick to finalize the transfer, so that it stays on your project and doesn't peel off. But this one has just a bunch of words. They say things like the little things, love this, happy heart, XOXO. I think that's all it says. It just repeats over and over. And then this one is a little dotted line. This is what Crepe Paper said, that this was so you could either use it to decorate or like do journaling lines with, which I loved the concept of, but don't do that if you get these. Do not. It will ruin your pen. And I tried one pen and it was one of my favorites and it completely destroyed it. I couldn't bring it back to life and I was so sad. So then being the smarty pants that I am, I decided to try another one and I ruined a second pen as well. So, yikes. So just keep that in mind. But they are very fun to use. They had like a little touch of something. Okay. That's not bad. I'll leave that there for now, see how I feel about it. These are some Felicity Jane chipboard hearts from the Gina collection. These could be fun to use. But I don't really want to do hearts and florals, so I'm actually going to change my mind on that. These are super fun. I think I have a link to them on one of our past streams on my YouTube channel or on my blog. But if not, even if they are on there, I'll definitely include them in the links for this stream. Ah! Dropping all the things. I dropped one on the ground. Hold on. Okay. This is just an iris case full of numbers. A lot of them are Felicity Jane, but not all of them. And I really wanted to be able to use some of these acetate pieces, but this layout doesn't really have anything to do with numbers. And I know I could just use them as like decor, but I like the idea of them having to do with something. I'm gonna adjust our lighting really quick. I feel like it's a bit bright and washed out. I hope that looks good for you guys. Also, do you guys want to know something exciting? Again, might only be exciting for me, but as my crafty pals now, unfortunately, you guys have to hear about all these things. Because Cody and the cats can only hear them so many times before they get annoyed. We just hit 100 followers here on Twitch, and I was doing a happy dance in my head. I was not doing an actual happy dance because that's a lot of energy that I don't feel like putting out, but in my head I was dancing all over the place. I was so excited because you guys are the best, and I love seeing our little community grow, and every stream there's new people and I just get so excited. It's like an introvert's dream come true as far as socializing and crafting go. Don't have to go anywhere, don't have to look at people face to face, but still get to talk to them. Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you for being excited with me. This is my iris case of miscellaneous florals. A lot of them are either Crepe Paper or Felicity Jane, but not all of them. This is from that wildflower collection I always rave about. This one is from Felicity Jane. That is one thing I have not really managed to master yet, is mixing. Oh, I'm dropping all the things. Hold on. Got it. Is mixing Felicity Jane florals with non-Felicity Jane florals. That is one thing that I have yet to master, but that I'm working on, and that we're going to give a go in this layout. Because, that is not a Felicity Jane floral. It doesn't match our color palette, but I feel like I could make it work if I wanted to. Not a Felicity Jane floral. I think it's crepe paper. You guys are my people. That's a pretty one. That's a Felicity Jane floral. But like the other ones, it feels a little bit more delicate because of the light colors, while this one feels like bold and right there. So now I'm looking for florals that go along with that. This is another Felicity Jane. It's a contender. I'm going to keep this one, I think, which is most likely a crepe paper. I'm really picky about florals, so they have to be a pretty good match for me to feel like they are okay going together. I don't think I could ever use something like this and this on a layout together because my mind is just too literal and it's like, why are you doing that? But I think this and this are kind of close, and then this ties it together, so maybe something like that. And then you have your different styles. So like this one and this one have a bit more of a realistic look to them. This one's more like doodly and whimsical. And then these two I'd say are kind of in the middle. So I feel like I need to create a nice balance when I choose my florals for that as well. Good night. Thanks so much for joining us. I don't really want any gold foil on this layout. I'm not feeling it tonight, surprisingly. It has gold foil on it. It's a little too turquoise for me. You guys, I did it, I think. Turquoise. No, I think that's more teal. I don't know. I give up. Only about those colors, not like everything. I just give up on trying to know the difference. I'm just going to call them whatever first comes to my mind, and then you guys will know that they're either turquoise or teal. I don't know how to say this name, but I'm going to say it and might butcher it. Shizio 2013, possibly? Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you. Also, please tell me if I pronounced that right or if it was a terrible interpretation. And if you'd rather I call you by your real name, feel free to let me know that as well. No, I really like that though. It threw me off for a second because I was like, oh. These are from the home collection. What was that collection? Around the house or something like that. And they have an off-white background. So these are ones that I find really hard to use with other florals that have a white background. So I try to pair these with something like this, because this doesn't have white or off-white, so it kind of pulls it together. But otherwise, this would look cute with that. Also, I don't know if it shows up. Cody, does it show up in chat as well? Like when I get a notification about someone subscribing?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Because I said that and then I didn't know if I sounded like a Fruit Loop, like just saying these things out of nowhere. I used to have a little thing that popped up on the screen right here when somebody would follow or subscribe while we were streaming, but it stopped working and Cody and I have yet to fix it. So one day we will, and we'll all be able to be excited together when it pops up. Good night, Mel. Thanks for popping in while you could. Okay, thanks, Drea, for confirming. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you? Oh, okay. So I wasn't like extremely off. Welcome. Welcome to the subscriber. What can we call it? A club? I guess it's kind of a club. But we're a club here too, even if you're not a subscriber. I am pretty good as well. We are working tonight on combining Felicity Jane products with non-Felicity Jane products. Oh, I love this floral. I couldn't tell you where this one was from, though. I actually have no idea. Maybe Studio Calico a long time ago, but it's gorgeous. So right now I'm looking for some more floral pieces that go along with this one right here to kind of create a little bouquet around my my photo. It's a little too orange. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, guys. Oh no, wait. Oh, see, this is the same green as that one. So I'm wondering. Okay, we have to do a little bit of a reverse. Words, you guys. Reversal. And I'm gonna pull out a few that had that same green because maybe I want to change and use these flowers instead of these ones. Thank you. I like it so far too. Okay. Are you crafting tonight, Elizabeth? Or are you just watching? No, that's not the one. Dropping more things. I know that there was at least one more in here. Here it is. And there's a floral in here that might look good with that as well. Okay, quickly go through this and see if there are any others. Here's another leaf that I might want to throw in there. That one goes with that collection. These two are from the Wildflower collection, and I'm going to be completely honest, these are two that I've been hoarding because I cannot get myself to use them because they're way too pretty. I love them so much. Okay, I think I got everything out of here that might work on this. That's kind of cute. I'm gonna put these two away. They're a little too whimsical for this. And just try to fit all these back in there. Numbers. This is filled with Felicity Jane, and then this is my Felicity Jane cut apart little case. I think she recently started doing them again, but years ago she used to include a 6x12 cut apart sticker sheet with the paper packs. I think she recently brought that back. Could be wrong. I just saw them in one of the things. But this is where all my extras ended up. So I have, if we need extra embellishments that are Felicity Jane, I can always dive into this and cut some apart. Let's look in here quickly. This has Felicity Jane, and I think it has some non-Felicity Jane in it as well. I'm gonna pull that out. I think my main embellishments are gonna be florals for this layout, which is why I'm okay spending a little bit of time going through and pulling all the contenders out. Okay, and we'll go through this. I'm gonna open the blinds really quick, now that I know Cody won't be blinded like last time. All right. I love this little cassette. Another frame. Ooh, I'm gonna need a label for my date, so I'm gonna pull out this one for now because it matches color-wise. That is not. I don't want to use that one. Let's see. I'm going through this side quick because I think we have a lot of options here that I could work with, and I just want to make sure there's nothing in here that like I can't live without, but it's doubtful, so I'm going quickly. All right. I also need something for my title. That might work. I love these Felicity Jane scripty die cuts to use as titles because, as we all know, I am lazy and I love things that are already done for me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's cute. Doesn't really fit this layout, but I wish it did because this one's a little bit small and I would rather this color and this font for this, but that's okay. That is okay. Okay, throw that off to the side. Now let's figure out these florals. That was not supposed to be out. I really like that these match this dusty navy color, but this floral I think matches the layout as a whole the best. These are a bit more animated. The yellow one could probably be used and look okay, so that's an option. See, as much as I love that this leaf matches, I feel like this is a little bit more realistic and the layout calls for something a little bit more hybrid, like semi-realistic, but also kind of like sketchy and animated. Yes, Dusty Navy. It's in the same family as like, you know, taupey mauve and yellow spelled with an E at the end. And I think there was one other color that I can't remember now. All right, let's see. And this one's a bit just, I don't know. I don't want it. I like that one there. But I do feel like it gets chopped off a bit. So maybe on the side. Like that. This is not, oh, maybe, yeah, this is a Felicity Jane frame. But I don't know what collection. Thinking kind of doing like a little double frame layering situation right there. And then one right there. Oh, look, we ended up more in the center of the page again. And then bluey green, that's right. I knew I was forgetting one. And yes, if anybody has the hookups at Crayola, I am available anytime to name new crayons. Or rename old ones, because, you know, some of the colors, like mac and cheese, could stand for a refresh. There are much more descriptive colors out there these days than mac and cheese. And I do know that mac and cheese used to be a crayon color when I used crayons, but I don't know if it still is. It was my favorite orange. let me... Bluey green. I'm doing my trick of taking a photo and then looking at the photo, and you can kind of get a better idea of what you have going on your layout. And I think I like... I have the hiccups again. I think I like it. I've had the hiccups like 10 times in the past week and a half, and I don't know why. Sorry, I got distracted. I was thinking about the best way to go about adhering all of this without messing it up, because we all know once I move these, I'm never going to be able to put them back where I want them. But that's okay. It's a chance I'm going to take. Ah! I'm first doing the edges because then I can stick the other embellishments to this before I adhere them. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So, I'm going to very carefully pick up all my pieces, and then you flip it over, you press them down a little bit more so that they stay, and then you just add more adhesive. So that's a trick for you if you have never used it. And I like to kind of put the adhesive across the layers, that way it holds them together even more. So that when I flip this over, the weight doesn't like make them all fall off. Gonna bust out this thin tape that honestly is like on its... Look, it totally comes apart. It's so thin that like it can barely even stay in a rolled form. But occasionally it comes in handy, so keep it around. And then we'll just put that there. Doing it this way, you do lose placement of where you had everything on your page, but I would rather have all of my embellishments where I want them in relation to my photo than to have the photo and everything exactly where it was before I lifted it. The thin tape is so difficult to pull the backing off of just because it's so skinny. It's not the tape's fault, it's just like the width of the tape. Okay. And then I just kind of guess. and hope it's as straight as I want it. It's never going to be perfectly straight because that's not a skill that I possess, but it'll be straight enough, and that's all I need. Okay. Where was this? There it was. I'm trying to decide now if I want to leave this as a chipboard piece or peel off the backing so that it is a flat embellishment. And I think I'm going to do chipboard, but I am going to peel off a couple layers so it's not quite as dimensional. And while I do this, I'll tell you guys, what are we going to call this? It's going to be called housekeeping. We're going to go over housekeeping things. No, maybe that's not the right word. I don't know. You guys can help me name it if you feel like it. If you're good at naming things, because I am not. If you are new here, stream subscriptions are available, and we just launched the stream subscriber exclusive chat. So when we are not live streaming, this thing will not come off. When we are not live streaming, subscribers can still carry on their conversations, make new friends, get to know each other better, etc. So if you need more information, if you are a subscriber and you need more information on that, there is a full video explaining it on my IGTV. And there's a link to my Instagram down below. Or you can use the shortcut to get to it, which I haven't touched on shortcuts yet, but I will. Or maybe I did briefly in a previous stream. They're where you can type in like exclamation point and then a phrase or a word, and it will automatically give you like a link or a response that Cody and I have set up for it to give you. And there's details on which shortcuts you guys can use down below. So if you just scroll down on my channel, there's like a little cheat sheet of which shortcuts do what. Suze's stream stuff. Oh, genius. You know I love alliteration. Well, right now we are going over Suze's stream stuff. Also, if you're not a subscriber, we have our exclusive subscriber download library that I update quite often with new free downloads. And of course, you can use your free subscription if you are, what am I trying to say? If you are if you are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch subscription. Geez, it's a mouthful. So don't forget, if you want to set that up, there is also a shortcut to get you to a page that shows you step-by-step instructions on that. Good night, Mandy. Thanks for joining us tonight. Be sure to join the Creatives Club Facebook group if you haven't already. There's tons of fun things going on over there. And I've started posting like crafty chat prompts and crafty shares so that you guys can share what you're working on. It's getting really fun over there. There's a link to that in my Instagram bio. And then, of course, don't forget to follow here on Twitch. It does help my channel grow, and it helps other people find and join our little crafty community. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, got that done. Now we're going to adhere these. Totally guessing, but I think that those are going to be fine there. They are on a tilt, so I'm just trying to make sure that I apply enough pressure for them to adhere without any extra like glue. I got chipboard crumbs. There we go. And I'm just using the same Basil Avalanche textured white cardstock that I always use for my layouts. All right, now let's pull out a few extra goodies. Let's see. We have some Felicity Jane chipboard pieces. What else do we have? Those are kind of fun. I don't feel like they fit the vibe though. Okay, so we'll probably use one of these words, but then I also want to pull out a non-Felicity Jane embellishment. So let's see what we have here. I'm just digging through my little cart that's next to me. I don't want another chipboard piece, I don't think. What do I want to use? Maybe I do. I was thinking kind of like a sticker or something would be nice. I really like the color palette of this, so I'm going to pull that out. And yeah, we'll stick with these two. I did peel off layers of the chipboard to make it a little thinner so that it wasn't so dimensional. I think I like this piece that says happy, and it popped all the way out. I don't think that these chipboard pieces have adhesive on the back of them, if I remember correctly. So I will have to add my own adhesive to it, which is totally fine. I think that's going to end up there. Let's see what we've got going on in this one. I want one of these green ones. Let's see. We are capable of more than we know. Yes, or true story. I don't have very many options here. This we are capable of more than we know is a little bit on the cheesy side for me, but it's not too bad. I'm thinking I might do it over there. And also do some stamping. Oh, I'm also going to use this one that says, "Yep, this was totally awesome." Has more of a peach tone to it, which is also the color that's on these. So I think it'll go really nicely. Although I wish I had one more. I like 3 pieces at a time. Let's see what else we've got over here. I have a lot of Ali Edwards chipboard pieces. A while ago, I used to subscribe to her story kit. And at that point in time when I was subscribed, I wasn't using a ton of chipboard. It just wasn't one of my go-tos. So a lot of my Ali Edwards chipboard pieces are actually still like brand new or barely used. So I'm trying to use more of those. There's bound to be something in here. Remember this. Nice neutral phrase. I love those. So we're gonna put that right there. I want some variation, so this one I am going to pull the backing all the way off, so it's just flat like a sticker. And I know some people are thrown off by like mixing fonts, but I think when they're on a layout and they're so far apart from each other, or even if they're close together like this, it kind of just brings like a playful vibe to it. And it's similar to like mixing patterns. Let's start adhering these. This one, I think I want to do like a strip of washi or something underneath, so we'll get back to that one, but I'm going to adhere these 3. And then we're going to move into stamping. when I peeled this one off, the backing did not come with it, so I will have to add my own adhesive. Hold that down for a sec. And quick water break. Which system or checklist? For my layouts? Or I have a lot of systems. That's why I ask. I thrive on systems and checklists. So I was actually talking about that in the beginning of the stream. Last year I had a lot of crafty recipes that I followed because I was doing a lot of creating for other people and for companies. And it was easy to do like a plug and play type situation. I just popped new products into that recipe and went from there. And this year I'm really trying to get away from that and try new things. So this is actually not a recipe. And it's, I want to say, my first ever layout putting my photo in the center of the page. I'm not really a center of the page type of person, but I don't hate it, actually, so. Oh, as far as like the order of the way I do the layouts, yes, that I always do in a specific order, mainly because that's really good. I'm trying to think of how to describe why. There's a reason I do it that way, and I'm trying to put it into words. I do the base layers on my layout to get a feel for how the layers behind my photo should look. So if this is really messy, I might make the layers behind my photo crisp, or if this is really messy, I might make these crisp. So I try to do the layers on the base layers on the background first, and then the photo layers either simultaneously or after. Then I'll do embellishments, which is everything except stamping, and then I do stamping at the very end. And that is sort of like it's, I guess, yeah, you could kind of call it like a checklist. It's just what works for me, but I also find that it works really well so that something I wanted to show doesn't get covered, or vice versa. And I was gonna cut that, but I mean, I was gonna fold that over, but I think I want to do like a matching strip down here somewhere. So I'm just gonna trim this. And then I think I'll stick it right. No, be down here. No, you're totally fine. I don't mind at all. It gives me something to chat about while I'm creating. Certain people talk during certain parts of the stream when they have things to say, so there's like lulls, and I like when other people jump into those lulls and take over, and like the ebb and flow of the stream. And they're good questions too, so I always welcome good questions. Then I think I'm gonna use one more. I like to do 2 strips of washi if I'm gonna do them somewhere, just so that the washi looks like it's supposed to be there and didn't just like end up there on accident. I'm gonna use this one. So this one is from American Crafts, their Faith line that's available at Hobby Lobby, and then this one is from Illustrated Faith from this most recent Revival Camp kit. I want to put this one somewhere where I want the pink to still show from this branding strip, but I also want this to be down here. So I think that's a nice balance, and then we'll put this other piece Has like this funky tear to it, so I'm going to tear it a little bit more. Don't like it that close. Do it farther over. Yeah, right there. And then I'm going to put this chipboard piece at the top. Again, peeling off just like 2 layers. Some chipboard is just way too thick for my liking. I feel like it draws unnecessary attention to the item if it's the only thing that's like raised super high off the page. So I try to make all the chipboard a little bit less dimensional. Oh, we're glad you're back as well. It's always nice to have all of our crafty pals here. And I'm working on getting all those replays up on YouTube. One day they'll be there. Oh yeah, these iris cases are perfect. So I used to have an iris case for every manufacturer. So like all my Felicity Jane would be in one, all my crate paper. That's a lie. It wasn't manufacturer, it was collection. So it would be like Felicity Jane, Emmeline, or crate paper, craft market. And then that got to be too much because I had so many die cuts. I couldn't store enough iris cases to have them all individual. So then I started combining them. Like all my Felicity Jane that was left over would go in one. And then that just, I wasn't using them. So then I changed to a color coding system where all the die cuts in here were turquoise. And then that didn't work out. So now they're kind of a mess. And that's on my to-do list for 2019 is to figure out what I'm doing with those. But yeah, if you're not someone that easily remembers manufacturers and collections, then it's best to store them by collection if that's something that you want, like if you want to keep the collection together or remember the collection. What was I going to do? Oh yeah. Time to get the staples in here. I'm going to staple this die cut. I mean this chipboard piece. Because it was asking to be stapled, to be completely honest. Then I'm just going to sneak a couple staples in here elsewhere so that it doesn't look like it doesn't belong. Of course, yes, I can post a video. I'd be happy to. Once I revamp my system, which is actually next on my list, so it should be within the next couple of months, I will create a video to share. But I'll also share as I go in the weekly streams. I'll give you guys updates if I've come across anything that's like really working and I want to let you know before the video is filmed. I'll do that in a stream. Let's see. I need to add at least one more staple on here somewhere. And I love this tiny attacher, but you can't get into the center of your layout unless you do one of these little maneuvers. And I'm kind of mad at my tiny attacher when I do this because the other day I did this and I put a big, huge, gaping hole in my project. And it was not a cute look and I couldn't cover it. But we're going to try it anyway because I think I want the staples to be like right here. So what I do is I get my piercing mat. And your tiny attacher usually looks like this. So if you ever want to staple something that's too far in the center of your page, you pull this up as though you were going to change the staples and then pull this piece down and then put this piece back. And then it's basically like a normal stapler where you can just kind of push. So here we go. Here goes nothing. Let's hope that there's not a hole. It's Success with that one. Let's do one more. Success. I love when things work out, you guys. Then, bone folder. These are going to be poking up, which is why you use the piercing mat so you don't staple your table, which I have definitely never done, you know. Wish you could see my facial expression. That was sarcasm. In case you couldn't tell by my voice. Then you just push the staple pieces down. And voila. Staples on your layout. Now we're gonna do stamping. I love stamping, you guys. It has really been my favorite recently. And I didn't do a title on this layout. Sorry, I got distracted. Cody's trying to get some chips and he's trying to be super quiet so it doesn't crinkle. And you know when you're trying to be extra quiet and it's like magnified times like 100? I felt like his chip bag was just in my ear a second ago. No, it was just I could hear you trying to be quiet. And I felt bad because I could still hear it.
I cut the tip off the chip bag instead of
Oh.
be more quiet.
Oh, no, you're fine. I don't think anybody could hear it. Oh, actually, you're being accosted for not sharing. Unfortunately, I don't think Cody can pass chips through the computer, or he probably would. That is a technology that I don't think we have achieved yet. Okay, what am I looking for? I don't really know, actually. I'm just kind of see if... I did. Yeah, I told him to just go for it. I told him, you guys don't care. You're polite people. You don't want the man to starve. You want him to be able to eat his frickin' chips. We get really passionate about chips in this house. Okay. I'm trying to find something that could work as like a tiny little title, but also sum up the journaling of the layout, because we all know I don't really care for doing a ton of journaling. It's just not my jam. So, for a very split second there, I thought that this was a stamp set that I was not supposed to be showing anyone yet. It's not. This is the May stamp set from Citrus Twist. I like certain sayings, but again, they're just tiny little phrases. Like I like this more adventures, which could work. I like to do the phrase stamping. I'm contemplating using this little wispy guy because I think that could be really cute, but I don't know where I'd put it. And I don't want to experiment. Yeah, okay. We'll try that on a different layout. Let's see what we have in this one. I want to be able to use some words or some phrases from my stamp set. This is going to be the non-Felicity Jane stamp set, and then we're going to also use a Felicity Jane stamp set. So I'm trying not to pick phrases that are too similar. Also, I need to clean these. They're no longer sticking to the acetate because I use them so much. I don't think these ones describe the layout very well. Let's see what we have here. I really like this stamp set. This one's cute. Let's see if we could fit this somewhere on here. I know that this is total personal preference. I really hate when my stamp sets are stuck to their backing card. Just bothers me for some reason, so I always pull them off. This one is super cute, and it has a flat space on the bottom, so it could work really well as a title. I wish it could go right there. Ooh, you guys, I didn't use the vellum. Hold on, I just got an idea. Okay, I have too much junk everywhere. Oh, I really wanted to use this label somewhere. We'll think about that. What if I stamped this on the vellum, fussy cut it, and then put it over... I'm just gonna stamp it and fussy cut it, and then we'll lay it on there and see if it works, if it looks good. That's too small. And this particular stamp from the set I have not used, so you guys know the drill. Got to get your skin funk on it. Okay. I'm using Stays On, so it's nice and permanent. And my Stays On is very dry. I have yet to order a replacement. The other day, I pulled off, I don't know if it was during stream or not. I don't think it was. I pulled off the entire ink pad off the base. Like the whole little like cushiony part just like completely came off and was stuck to my stamp, and I didn't know what to do because I didn't want to get Stays On all over my hands. It was quite the situation. Yes, Stays On works on pretty much everything, to be completely honest. It's so dry though, it's like almost sad how dry it is. Well, that was not the solution. Okay. Oh, please tell me I did not miss the vellum and stamp this Stays On directly on my white desk. Please do not let that be the case. Success. Alrighty. And because my ink pad is dry, it did not cover the entire stamp, so there is a little bit, but it doesn't bother me at all. Make sure I don't have Stays On all over everything, and then I get it on my layout, because that has been done many times. I don't often clean my stamps, but it kind of, the ink exploded like all over it, and so I'm just trying to get a little bit of the mess under control. Ugh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, right there, and then also right there. Thank you for the warning. And I did. I noticed it, but I didn't think it would come off, but it is coming off, so thank you for looking out. There we go. Okay. So I'm thinking, let's grab these guys. And I just realized that this is just regular vellum. It's not the pearlescent vellum that I've been having to use for everything because I decided to buy it on sale and now don't want to waste it, which I'm excited about because I haven't used non-pearlescent vellum in ages, or at least that's what it feels like. Oh, you know what I want to do first? I want to double up the vellum on this. No, it's too thick. That's a bummer. It's basically just vellum with a little shimmery, like, white shimmer coating on it. It's pretty, and it's not like, it doesn't ruin the look of things, but some layouts just don't call for, they just don't call for pearlescent vellum. So vellum is really hard to adhere to itself because you don't want the adhesive to show through. So I am going to pull out my glue stick, find a scratch piece of paper. Never mind, this paper towel will work. And I'm going from one end to the other in very smooth strokes so that the glue covers the entire back, and then I am doubling it up. And this will just make it a little tiny bit less see-through so that you're able to read what is on the vellum. And the background doesn't overwhelm and pop through. Okay, now we are going to fussy cut. If fussy cutting didn't look so nice, I would not do it. It is definitely on my list of not favorites. Unfavorites. You guys have an unfavorites list? Because I do. I don't even know if that's the right term. This doubling up the vellum is actually a trick that I learned from... Who did I learn this from? Christy? Christina Werner, the card maker. She posts a lot of card videos on Instagram. And while YouTube, and while I don't make cards, I really enjoy the process of people making them, and I enjoy watching videos of them being made because I learn a lot of new techniques that I'm able to carry over into my memory keeping or like scrapbooking, whatever I'm doing. And doubling up the vellum so it was a little less see-through is something that I learned from one of her videos. All right. Thinking. Yeah, she's really great. She does a lot of work with like different inks and with watercolors and things like that. And since I love using watercolors in my scrapbooking, I think that's why I'm so drawn to her style. She has a lot of great tips. I don't want to block out that entirely, but I just don't know where else I would put this that it would look natural and not out of place. Her channel, her Instagram is Star of May, and then she has her YouTube link in her bio. So that's the best. I mean, I'm sure you could type Christina Werner into YouTube and she might come up. I don't know for sure. Star, like a star in the sky, of May, like the month. That's her Instagram. I like want to see what this looks like here, but I don't want to adhere it. Oh, I'm not in love. I really want to be in love with it. What if we did something like that? Well, that's kind of cute. With a K and Werner instead of A. I think I'll leave it there. And again, I'm going to just... Where's my paper towel? Use my glue stick. Ah! Sorry, I just screamed at you guys and threw my glue stick at you. That's how I feel when, like, that's in my mind. I'm throwing these things and I'm doing them like at you guys. I'm throwing the glue stick at you. I'm yelling at you, rather than just like to no one. Yes, that is correct. I contemplated only putting adhesive down here so that these were kind of like loose and had movement. But I don't think it would have translated well, and I think it would have ended up coming off. I don't know if I love that, you guys. It is crooked, so I'm gonna fix that at least. Gasps when I do something wrong or when I'm excited about something. I have a lot of different sound effects and noises. Okay, friends, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't love it at all, but I really like the phrase and I like it on the vellum and I want it on this layout, so I'm just gonna leave it there. It might... You guys are cracking me up, oh my gosh. It might bother me or it might grow on me, I don't know, but I am definitely leaving it because sometimes you have to tell your brain to get over it. And that's what I'm doing. Let's do these stamps. That happens often. Okay, I'm gonna do documented. My favorite. This is the one that needs to be cleaned the most because it hardly sticks to my acrylic block anymore. I've used it so much. And then happy little moments. I don't think I'm gonna do 3. I think I'm just gonna do 2 today. Whoa. And sometimes if I really, this is my favorite ink block or acrylic block, and sometimes if I really want to use it, I will use it diagonally so that I can use it. It's really thick and has smooth edges, so it's easy to grip onto. This one's from, I don't remember the brand, but I got it, I think, from Spellbinders, and I got this little tiny one also. I have this tiny one from Sweet Stamp Shop, but the edges are so sharp that if you have to push down, it like really destroys your fingers. And then my other ones are these thin ones. I have no idea where these are from, honestly. I've had them for so long, but they're so like tiny and thin and slippery. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put these phrases. Thinking happy little moments will go down here, and then documented will go, I don't know, somewhere up here. Somewhere up here. I just want something up there. I don't know why. Let's do this one first, though. And I'm gonna use this sepia color. That word is so ridiculous to me, and I still don't know why. I don't know what Kids Songs VHS is, but we had School House Rock, is that what it was called on VHS? And that was my jam. That's cute. It's subtle. I like it. Okay. And then documented. Let me clean this really quick because it's not going to stick to the acrylic block. If your stamps ever stop sticking to the acrylic block, you can either wash them with a little bit of soap and water, or you can use a baby wipe. I'm just blowing on it to dry it because I don't feel like bringing out my heat gun. There it is. There we go. Okay, let's first figure out where this is gonna end up. I want it close to my photo, almost like on top of this a little, but I'm just gonna try it. Why not? The worst that happens is I don't like it, and then I put this layout in my scrapbook and I don't look at it again. Putting my head in here. That's cute. I like that it overlaps a little. Okay. I totally ditched the backing on this stamp set because I use it so much. I got tired of the little plastic piece and I just got rid of it. Let's see, it needs something, and I'm thinking, even though I did not want to do gold splatters because I didn't feel like it went, I am thinking it needs gold splatters. Because splatters, oh, remember I was going to bring back the black splatters today? Okay, well, we'll have to bring back black splatters next week, on next week's stream, because I don't feel like going to dig it out. I keep my mixed media supplies in the linen closet in our bathroom because we live in such a small space. That's like where it fit. So I have to walk all the way over there and like go through my mists and find the black and the laziness, you guys. Also, at some point, I got this little tiny gold Heidi Swap Color Shine, and I have a couple of the large bottles of the gold that I just keep refilling this one, so that when I shake it to use on a project, I don't have to shake it as long because there's less to mix. So if you guys have an extra small one that you want to put like your most used color in, then you don't have to mix it quite as long each time. He is done with his chips, and I would have him go get it, but this is navy, and I feel like black would clash, even though I used black ink right there. The little things I'm picky about. But next layout, I am using it. And if I don't get it, I will have the stream manager retrieve it so that we do use it. I am determined. Yes, dusty navy. Sorry, please excuse me for my lack of knowledge. I think I have a navy mist also. I think the last two layouts I've done I've used navy, so maybe I should break out that mist also. I like to plan where my mist goes before I start splattering so that it doesn't end up in like a disaster of a situation. So I think I'm gonna do this, this, this. So we have our design triangle. I'm doing a couple at the bottom that go up onto this pink right here, but then the majority of them will be focused right here. And I'm asked a lot how I get perfect splatters. It's all practice, and it's finger, not wrist, because otherwise you'll get long splatters instead of round splatters. And you want to always make sure that your little tube is, usually they have a tiny bit of a curve, and you always want to make sure it's pointed down towards your project instead of up, because then it just kind of drops it down onto your project instead of flinging it. Flinging it is when you get those long, messy splatters. And then patience also. Don't try to do like a million splatters with one little dip. Oh, I just stuck my thumb in there. And surprisingly, I only messed it up a tiny bit. Score. I love when that happens. Not when I stick my hand in something, but like when I don't mess it up. Thank you. My paint splattering skills. When I was in high school, when high school seniors were able to, they all had their assigned parking spots. You had to like pay a fee at the beginning of the year, and you got like a preferred parking spot, and then you were allowed to paint your parking spot. And wouldn't you know it, my parking spot was just a ton of colorful paint splatters. I think I'm happy with that. Let's see. I am gonna do a few more splatters around it's, this is throwing me off. I just needed it to look a little less square and perfect. And those splatters provide that. Now we have way too many splatters going on, but I can live with that. Yes. Oh, date. That's what I'm missing. I knew I was missing something. Okay, let me look up the date really quick. Oh, shoot. You're asking the wrong person. I can't help with that. I can hardly remember, like, what I had for breakfast yesterday. Oh, this is way back here. Thanksgiving, November. So this was before November, before October. Where's September? Here we are. September 15th. Oh, you stop it right now, Drea. You stop it with your skills. I'm bringing more black ink. I can't even talk now. I'm so impressed with your skills. I'm bringing black ink back in to play off this ink right here, this black ink. My brain couldn't think because I was so impressed with the fact that you just had that at the ready. But then again, it shouldn't surprise me because your photos are so organized and mine are a complete and total disaster. And the date will go. The date will go. Between the conversation that's happening about Karate Kid and you singing through text at me, I just can't handle it. Hello, Sylvia. I am still on, finishing up a layout where I mix Felicity Jane products with products from my stash that are not Felicity Jane. So we did that for this entire layout. Of course, the replay will be on YouTube eventually, but it will also be here on Twitch on my channel for the next few days. So you can always watch the beginning part of this stream there if you're interested in the process. I still haven't decided where I wanted this. I read it like that before you even said saying like JT. That's how it happened in my head. I'm thinking up here maybe, but then it's kind of even, so I'm kind of contemplating like how crazy is it to stamp my date directly on my flower? What the heck. Check that out. Look at us rebellious crafters doing crazy things like stamping over our floral embellishments. Who are we? Who do we think we are? All right, let's show you guys an up close. I'm turning on our autofocus. Let me also turn down our brightness a bit because, yikes. There we go. There it is. Focused? I think it's focused. Off. Alrighty, you guys. That is going to wrap up tonight's stream. Don't forget, follow me on Instagram for all stream schedules, news, and updates. And tomorrow on Instagram, I am announcing the very exciting announcement of Crafty Lady shirts. Don't miss it, basically, because it's really good. I don't toot my own horn like this often, but I'm majorly proud of it and super excited. So thank you guys for joining me and for always supporting and all of that jazz. I will share next week's stream schedule on Sunday as always, and I will be looking forward to next week's stream. Until then. Goodbye.